Johnny Somali has brought himself into a legal nightmare. From disrespecting historical monuments, showing up drunk to the courthouse, and hiring a real-life Saul Goodman. Here's everything Johnny Somali did wrong. Johnny Somali is an American IRL streamer who got famous for all the wrong reasons. Mainly going to other countries and acting like a complete clown for views. But we've seen that before. Usually these people get cancelled after a couple months and they fade into obscurity. But Johnny Somali is different. He simply refused to fall off and kept doing crazier and crazier stuff. And because of this, he's now facing some serious jail time. And because most of this was done in South Korea, all this stuff gets taken really seriously, as people in North Korea do not play lightly on disrespect. But let's go back to the beginning. Let's go all the way to Japan. The Statue of Peace in Osaka is a monument located near Namba Station. It was created in 1953 to promote peace and symbolize the city's recovery after World War II. The statue is made of white marble and it's a very important symbol for the citizens of Japan, as it also symbolizes slavery in the wartime. And what did Johnny Somali do to this statue? He gave it a lap dance. And this single instance riled the whole country up to Johnny Somali. He also faces very legal charges for deepfaking content. And in case you don't know what a deepfake is, it is when you use an AI to make someone do something they haven't actually done. So for example, those Kanye or fake Drake songs you keep seeing everywhere are a form of deepfake. But instead of making deepfake songs, Johnny Somali made an inappropriate video with him and a Korean woman, which is a very serious cybercrime that could land him 10 years in prison. And all the legal stuff aside, this is so insanely weird. Like, I cannot imagine why anyone would do this, and especially not post this online to flex with it. I don't know, it's just absolutely wild to me. And of course, as you may have guessed, this is not the end of the story either, because we haven't even gotten to the main part of his stream, where he streams pretty much every single day being a complete asshole, throwing food in supermarkets, blasting offensive music in a subway, harassing strangers for absolutely no reason. He really did everything you could possibly think of that would annoy someone, and he did this every single day that he was live for hours at a time. If I were to list every single thing Johnny Somali did that was just a disturbance or an annoyance to people, this video would quite literally be 30 minutes long. And he would do these interactions for a couple dollars, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But there's a single instance that really just rubbed me the wrong way, and that was the rotten fish incident. And yes, it is as bad as it sounds. Johnny Somali walked around in a public area somewhere in South Korea, and he had a bag of rotten fish. And I don't even know where you could possibly obtain a bag of rotten fish, but that's besides the point. He randomly started harassing pedestrians with the bag of rotten fish, putting them really close to people's faces just to annoy them. And this was so incredibly weird. I don't even know what the whole joke or punchline was, or how it could be funny in any way, shape, or form, but it's just so strange. Like, how do you even come up with that? Bag of rotten fish? However, after months of being just a complete asshole to the culture and people of Japan and South Korea, justice finally seemed to be served. And usually when legal stuff gets involved, people start being more serious and more cautious, but of course, Johnny Somali being Johnny Somali, he doubled down and got even worse somehow. And not just Johnny Somali, but his lawyers are a complete clown show too. Johnny Somali's lawyers tried to meet with the prosecutor and beg them to drop the deepfake charges that could lead him 10 years into jail, hoping that it would just not go to trial. However, by the time this meeting actually happened, the charges had already been indicted and moved to the Western District, which pretty much means that he was way too late, making the lawyer look like an absolute clown and making the situation for Johnny Somali only worse. But of course, as you've guessed it, that is not where it ends. Speaking of Johnny's lawyer, he didn't even know the basics of his case. He wasn't even registered to the right court district, meaning that he couldn't even access Johnny's files. He led the lawyer to be unaware that Johnny Somali had already been indicted in the Western District. This oversight made the lawyer look like an absolute clown and super out of touch, especially since the case was literally already in full swing. So pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong, so surely it would get better from here. But no, as soon as the lawyer started to get things going, Johnny Somali decided to fuck it all up. Because as Johnny Somali does, he live streams everything. So he decided to live stream a legal private meeting where confidential conversations about his legal case were happening. And as the meeting was in Korean, Somali couldn't really understand it, but his viewers translated everything. And this leak was an absolutely massive mistake, as it showed super sensitive information about his trial, but also his entire legal strategy. The lawyer also seemed very visibly frustrated with Johnny Somali as he kept interrupting them, showing that the relationship between the lawyer and Johnny Somali isn't very good, making this trial look like even bigger of a mess. But as you guessed it, that is not where it ends. I'm actually running out of segues. That's how many times this guy's messed up. Anyways, as if it couldn't get any worse, Johnny Somali decided to make an extremely weird comment towards a female police officer. He kept making inappropriate comments as he was being handcuffed by the police, which was just completely out of line, making it even worse for him, his reputation, and most importantly, his case. And you'd think that you would start to take things more serious now that all these trials and charges are actually in motion, but he decided to show up in a Kanye-like cloak, if you know what I mean, and he said it was just for the memes. They got him banned pretty much everywhere, and during his court visit, he kept throwing up middle fingers to the reporters, saying, "I love North Korea," which is probably the worst thing you can say, as North and South Korea are actually really tense with each other. So that was completely out of line. And to put the nail in the coffin, when he was asked if he regretted anything, he said, "Zero regrets, zero remorse," basically saying that if he had the chance to do it all over again, he would, which is probably the worst thing you can say in a lawsuit. And many people are curious to why he's being so careless, and this all boils down to his lawyer saying that he is bulletproof. Well, Johnny Somali's lawyer wrongfully assumed that being American would protect him against all serious consequences in South Korea. This was a massive mistake, as his nationality doesn't really excuse anything he does outside the country. In fact, other Americans have been going to jail for far smaller inconveniences, proving that American equals safe doesn't really work at all. Johnny Somali's team simply did not have a single understanding of how serious these charges really were, and because of that, Johnny Somali really messed up his case really bad. And that brings us to today. It's really looking worse for him every single day, and his trial has been delayed again. Now it's been pushed to May 16th, 2025, giving the prosecutors more time to gather evidence from his past live streams. He's now facing a deepfake related charge that could end him up for 10 years into prison without calculating all the other charges combined. And it doesn't even stop there. There's an ongoing investigation of him allegedly sexually harassing another Japanese streamer, which is how much worse can it get? And of course, so far he's shown zero remorse. He keeps leaking his own trials by going live, and the South Korean legal system is not impressed. As of recording this right now, all of his small legal cases, which aren't actually small, are being compacted into one huge legal lawsuit. And this is basically his last chance ever of becoming serious about this whole situation. But knowing Johnny Somali, he will probably just live stream the weirdest thing you can think of and land himself 5 more charges.